Hey guys, it is the end of week 10 here, and I just wanted to get this video out for you guys as a weekly update as usual. And yeah, so let's just dive right into it, guys. So week 10, nothing too crazy happened here, nothing monumental to really document here in this video. Just incrementally progressing every week at this point, stacking on the progressions and pushing things a little bit harder, just trying to get some strength back and full active range of motion and all that good stuff. So nothing too huge this week. Let's just kind of go through our typical slides here. So the goal for the week 10, my goal was to work towards achieving full active extension and just keep pushing the flexion. So really I was kind of more aiming on, or focusing on, the full active extension side of things. So to do that, I was completing my knee extensions every day, doing that 3 times a day, just in my home routine plan that I have out here, which I kind of covered a couple of videos back. Just completing those knee extensions every day. While doing that, I did increase the resistance to a medium resistance band instead of a light band. I'm probably not getting as far as I could be. I don't have full active extension just yet. I'm pretty close, I feel like. But with the band, I'm probably a little bit less, with the medium band than I probably could be getting with a light band for extension range of motion. But yeah, so that's just something I've noticed with the videos here I'm recording. And then also I've been using the blood flow restriction machine every day. The first half of the week I used it multiple times a day. I kind of cut it back about halfway through the week to maybe just once a day, like the last day or two during this week. My knee started to get a little achy, which I'll kind of cover in the next slide. So I just kind of dialed it back a little bit just to kind of lessen the intensity for the week, and that's what I was doing there. And for flexion, I did reach 132 degrees. Not a huge gain from last week. I think last week I was just at 130 roughly. So only 2 degrees gained here, but I didn't really push it hard. And as I mentioned, I was kind of achy this week. So the last half of the week, it was kind of hard to really push the flexion, and just I should have been pushing through the pain a little bit. Not that it was painful per se, just wasn't comfortable and didn't feel great. So I just wasn't really pushing as hard as I have been in the last couple weeks. But right now, as I said, extension is really my main target, and I got to 130 for flexion. So I'm kind of just going to be, slowly gaining a couple degrees here and there every week over the next, however many months for rehab. But right now, really harping on the extension side of things rather than flexion. And week 11, so I want to achieve full active extension. I think I'm pretty close. I know I said that in last week's video, but I think I'm really close. Doing the knee extension with the bands, I'm not getting quite as close as what I could be. But when I do the single leg raises and kind of that hold that I'm doing at home, so doing single leg raises but holding for 30 seconds instead of just reps up and down, there's a very, very minuscule amount of quad lag still. And that is generally the most pain that I have at this point, is while trying to get that full active extension. I kind of just around the knee, kind of interior side, I guess, the medial side, so the inside part of my knee, just feels like things aren't, doesn't feel great in there when I'm really squeezing that muscle down and trying to really get that extra range of extension. So I really just want to nail that one down for next week, because that's kind of a prerequisite for a lot of progressions I need to get to. So really just harping on that one. Hopefully I can achieve it. Might be a little hard, but we'll try to get that one. And also just incorporating more cardio workouts. Since I had surgery, I really have not been good about doing exercising besides just my right knee, just besides rehab stuff. I probably should be doing, upper body core stuff at least a couple times a week. And now that I can kind of put more load on my knee, getting back to cardio, kind of get that side of things working. And then pain levels, so I kind of touched on this before. My knee this week got definitely more tender, sore, achy, whatever you want to call it. Not like the muscle's weak per se, but just using it was it's really sore and achy. I was doing a lot around the house over the weekend. It was a long weekend, holiday weekend for 4th of July here in the USA. And, doing a lot of home improvement things. We just moved in right when I had surgery. So now that I'm up and on my feet, I'm trying to do a lot of things around the house, get things prepped and, just touched up as we moved in right at surgery. So I just kind of probably overdid it a little bit doing normal stuff over the weekend. And I think that's probably why my, achy tenderness has popped up. But it could also be because I, upped intensity with rehab and used the BFR a little bit more this week, but it's kind of hard to say. But yeah, so that's that side of things. This week my knee did pop a lot, really primarily on Sunday this week. I was on the lawn out there, and I was really focusing on getting full extension out there in the lawn. I was pushing the lawnmower and bending well as well, so getting that full range of motion. And whatever that, I don't know what it was, but doing that while I'm on the lawn, it popped like every 5 seconds, every time I really bent my knee after full extension. So don't know what it is, but that really popped up a lot this week. Doing knee extensions every time. First kind of reps popped, like a loud pop, really. So that's just something I just want to make note of. And again, so just generally my knee is less stiff. It keeps on getting less stiff over the weeks. But now I'd say that I don't need to stretch it out as much or really focus on it to really get good range of motion. I think, which I'll touch on the next slide as well a little bit, just walking and making sure I put my leg all the way out and kind of make heel contact first, just to kind of help extend it more. I do find that I don't have as much trouble with range of motion. I'm not really kind of locked in a certain little range of bending my knee and straightening it without stretching. So that's a nice bonus for the week. Exercises and walking. So week 10, we only added one thing to my home workout routine, which is wall sits. And then we also did up the intensity of the blood flow restriction, BFR. So wall sits, I've been doing that 3 times a day with all my home workout routine sets, which includes, heel prop and stretching my calf out. I also really try to push the extension down with that single leg raise holds for 30 seconds. Side plank, where I'm on my knee, so it's modified. It's not a full side plank. And also doing clamshell with that, so getting some glutes, I think, with that one. Single leg balance, and then a knee extension with the resistance band while sitting down. So I'm doing that. The wall sits, we started out at 45 throughout the week, and I'm slowly getting down closer to 90. I don't think we're really supposed to be at 90 just yet, but we're getting there. So just progressively got a little bit more of a deep flexion as the week went on. Again, I just threw in there that my exercises take about 30 to 45 minutes. That's probably the longer range. I can really get it down to maybe 20, 25 minutes if I'm really rushing through things. If I'm doing it during lunch or something, during the work day and whatnot, or before work, in the morning. And then also my ortho PT introduced a single leg Bosu ball balance. So it's kind of like a half ball with a flat surface on top, and you're just sitting on there balancing, trying to keep yourself balanced. That one really works. Really, both the balance routines, that one's really difficult compared to just balancing on solid ground, but both of those really work my foot and ankle more. And for me right now, personally, my arch gets really worn out during those. It's not really more of a... Right now, it's not... I don't know. It probably does work the knee, but really ankle and foot more. We also added in the banded crab walks this week. Those weren't too bad and weren't really anything noteworthy, I'd say, in my opinion. And we also just increased the resistance for the double leg and single leg presses. So that's just something to note. Those are pretty nice ones. I can really feel my muscles working on that one. I think single leg I was up to around like 70-pound resistance. It's kind of hard to say with the machine they're using. I'll try to record that next week, at least once at the PT place, just to get some footage of that for you guys. And also, my walking just keeps improving. So, as I said, I have issues with being stiff still if I'm sitting around for a while and whatnot. But generally, after maybe like 20, 30 seconds, so I'm really focusing on that full extension and heel striking. So I plant and then follow through. Within about 20 or 30 seconds, I really feel like I'm not limping too bad. So that's pretty nice. And I think once I have that full active extension, I'll just be even more, doing well on that side of things with walking without any altered gaits or limps or anything like that. So that's why getting that full active extension is really important for walking, progressing exercises, and so much more. So that's really why I want to harp on that this week and hopefully get that next week or maybe the week after at the latest, hopefully, but we'll see. I'll also note that I kind of have here step downs on the side of the exercise list on the slide here. But We did progress that a little bit more this week at Ortho PT. So before I kind of had the reduced range for how far I'm like using my right leg, surgical leg, to let myself down towards the ground off the step. We increased that range, that height a little bit more. And this week there wasn't nearly as much discomfort or kind of low level pain. Last week there was a lot of stabbing type pain in there. Didn't feel great. This week a lot less. It's still pretty difficult, but yeah, so that's encouraging. And just kind of a look ahead for next week. So with Josh at Elite Endurance Physio, I am going to start incorporating some more cardio workouts. So mainly the bike, just because that's what I have access to at home. So I'm going to be increasing intensity from like 30 minutes up to 40 minutes, I believe, around there. And just keep adding resistance the more each time I get on the bike. I think it's going to be every other day for the most part. And he also kind of wants me to work on walking backwards up a hill and getting that full extension that way. So we'll add in those two cardio workouts. Walking is not too much of cardio, but add those two workouts. And next week I have my follow-up with my doctor for my 10-week follow-up, but we didn't have it scheduled for this week just because of how their availability worked out. So I will have that to update you guys next week as well. So I think next video will be a little bit more exciting, and I might kind of stop the frequency on these updates because I think now at this point there's not really huge changes week to week. I think early on it's kind of nice to get a weekly update, but now I think I might just do kind of like milestones or monthly updates, but we'll see. That'll be addressed in the next video probably after I get the doctor visit out of the way. I think it's a good thing to kind of document here in a weekly update. And yeah, guys, I'll keep it short this week. If you're out there going through a rehab, I really hope you're crushing it and you're not in too much pain at this point. Hopefully, everything's going well for you. I really hope you're crushing it on your end of things. And if you like this video, like and subscribe. I really appreciate it. It helps me out. Just kind of spread my videos. I just want to help people out there who are going through this rehab experience, and hopefully just develop a little bit of community where we can all help each other out with our experiences and kind of see what one person's doing and whatnot. So yeah. Alrighty, guys. Thank you for watching. I'll see you next time.